Coming up on Look Today, well, we have continuing coverage of the boat rental safety program on Lake George. I've got details. And a high school juried art show is on exhibit at the Hyde Collection in Glens Falls. More on that coming up. Plus, we have updates on the climate movement that's happening in our area, which is spearheaded by the Tri-County New York transition. Got those details. All ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson. This is Look Today. Tonight, I sit down with Teddy Foster. She's the Executive Director of the Capital Campaign for Universal Preservation Hall. And we're joined by Heidi Owen West. She's a leader of Team Lifestyles. And we're also joined by Katie Niemer, who's the leader of Team Julie and Company. And they're here to talk about Shaken and Stirred Celebrity Bartending Party at Prime at Saratoga National Golf Course. This is some interview. I also sit down with Paul Jenkins. He's the superintendent of the Glens Falls City Schools. And we're joined by Bobby Yusko. He's the assistant superintendent of business. And they're here to talk about the school's budget, as well as the capital campaign and what that entails. Now, this is part 2 of my interview with them. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, as I told you yesterday, a boat rental safety program is coming to Lake George this summer. Now, this was recently finalized by the Lake George Park Commission, and the Lake George Association is also involved in the initiative as well. Now, they've been working closely with different marinas in the area to provide the correct safety materials and information for those wishing to rent a boat. Now, this is important. According to data released by the Lake George Park Commission, the rate of accidents that occur on Lake George significantly larger for those who rented boats last year compared to those who owned boats. Now, we spoke to Walt Lender. He's executive director of the Lake George Association.
So this is the first year that this is going to be up and running in this format. And at the end of the year, we're going to get together again with the marinas and with the Lake George Park Commission, and everybody get around the table and look at the year in review and see how it worked and what needs to be tweaked. And we'll look for ways to improve it and ways to do additional outreach. So anything we can do to help.
Anybody who boats on Lake George knows this is important. In other news, well, the 26th annual high school juried art show is currently on exhibit at the Hyde Collection in Glens Falls. Now, the show features art from students from our Tri-North counties. The chosen works were reviewed by local art professionals. The show opened on the 7th and runs until May 28th. Well, we were at the Hyde today, and we spoke to Jenny Hutchinson. She's a museum's educator and talks about the significance of student art being showcased in such a classic setting.
For the high school students to have their artwork showing in an atmosphere that has a Rembrandt, has Renoirs, has a Picasso, has these kind of large figure names, it's really a jumpstart of their college career, maybe their professional artistic career, or at least a foothold in learning about what the professional art atmosphere is like.
Nice going, Jenny. Switching from news to weather. Today saw the skies cleared, temperatures heated right up into the 60s. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Well, thank you, Jesse. Hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. Right now, the dry weather continues to hold on as a weak area of high pressure continues to slide back out. But we'll still see more and more cloud cover over the next 24 hours. By later on tomorrow, chance of some showers move back in, and then we're going to see a rainy forecast expected throughout the weekend. So heading into tonight, we're going to still see those winds mostly out of the northeast between 5 to 10. Drier air still moving in or doing the best it can to move back in. Low 44. Those clouds continue to push back in. So a little bit of a chillier morning ahead, but then the sunshine will come back out in times. We'll call it variable cloudy skies, so sometimes plentiful sunshine, other times generally becoming overcast, especially as we get later on the daytime and throughout the afternoon. Some more humidity moves back in as winds shift more out of the southeast, so that'll be a factor ahead of that next front, but still a dry start to the daytime. We're going to see those out the door temperatures between 48 and 53 degrees, clouds building back in, but a cool and calm morning. Then here comes those showers as we take a look look at the extended forecast, especially as we head into Saturday and Sunday, both days, about a 70 to 80% chance of showers throughout the weekend. So another slow-moving front could wash out the weekend in part. Even as we look ahead into Monday, about a 50% chance of some early day showers, high 61 degrees. But the south wind gets going. We're going to see temperatures ramping up nicely and quickly. By Tuesday, we'll see mostly sunny skies and a high near 70 degrees. Well, that's it from the Weather Center. Now let's get back to you, Jesse.
Rain it is. Back to the news. We've got some updates on the climate movement that is currently ongoing in our local region. The Tri-County New York Transition is a progressive organization that's reacting strongly against recent federal cuts in spending on scientific programs related to climate and climate change. Now, a very successful climate march took place last weekend. Believe it or not, over 700 people participated in the march. Well, we spoke to Catherine Anthrinden. She's a coordinator for the Tri-County New York Transition.
The deniers have to realize that something needs to be done. Our state is a pretty good state for this, but across the nation is not. It's starting to get to be too late to do this stuff. There will be changes now regardless of what we do, but we can at least slow it down a little bit.
Now, we're going to have more coverage on other initiatives this organization is involved with in the coming weeks and months. Up next, I sit down with Teddy Foster. She's Executive Director, Capital Campaign, Universal Preservation Hall. We're joined by Heidi Owen West. She's a leader of Team Lifestyles. We're also joined by Katie Niemer, who's a leader of Team Julian Company. And they're here to talk about Shaken and Stirred Celebrity Bartending Party at Prime at Saratoga National Golf Course. I do a lot of interviews. This one is over the top. Up next, I also sit down with Paul Jenkins. He's the superintendent of the Glens Falls City Schools. And we're joined by Bobby Yusko. He's the assistant superintendent of business. And they're here to talk about the school budget as well as the capital campaign and what this entails. Now, this is part 2 of my interview with them. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea. How about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got 2 lookouts tonight. Quickly, even though it's kind of last minute, a reminder that tonight is Child's Play 8. That's a fundraiser, the Dake Foundation for Children. Lisa Munter and her team put this together, and it's a wonderful organization providing children with disabilities the means to be independent. Think about what that means. So it could be adaptive equipment, all kinds of things. It's at the Auto Museum out in the State Park. It's going on right now, Child's Play 8. And secondly, we lost one of our own, Charlie Ebel. Although I used to say Abel, he's one of those names that was hard to pronounce. But I met him way back in the 90s. And just about that time when I had an ad agency with my partner, Herm Schnur, he opened Woods End Recording in Greenfield. And it was a beautiful setting, great equipment, whatever. Artists loved going there. But the main thing was his demeanor. He was a mentor. He was so calm, quick to laugh, engage you in a conversation. And anybody that's involved with music production, audio engineering, knows how important that is. It's a business with a lot of egos. And Charlie just always was very engaging and very welcoming. Well, we even worked on some things together. There were jingles for SPAC and Saratoga Racetrack, and I think with Jeff Townsend, the Saratoga County Fair. He was part of that group of Pat Tessitore and Jeff Townsend, really very interesting people. And he went on, had a wonderful career with MHT. I think he did most of the sound design for the studios at MHT, and he was involved with the Linda Theater for WAMC. Really going to miss him. He died way before his time. So I just want to give a tribute to Charlie, all right? Tonight on Look TV, it's sold. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.